Right, we're live. We're going live again. This time, I think what's happened is, this is a bit of a bugger. But I think YouTube is way different than it used to be, and I can't add Will. So we used to be able to use Google Hangouts, so me and Will could crisscross and talk to each other while talking to all of you lovely folk. And it seems now. Seems now we're not able to, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. So yeah, this is interesting indeed. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop this message to Will. I'm going to ask him to try this. Boom. So try this. Try this link. Here we go. Hopefully Will can join me. We'll see what happens. I do apologise to anyone watching this now and thinking, what are you doing, John, you absolute turd? The truth is, folks, hello, my brother, MMA KO. Good to see you, man. I'm trying to add Will. Do not fear, folks. I am trying to get him on. It's our first time of doing this live stream. Thinking about in hindsight, we probably should have done a tester. But who knows if this will work. Like I said, we used to have Google Hangouts, and it was sweet because it would have Will on one side on the stream and I'd be on the other. And then whenever Will talked, it would jump him in and vice versa. But we are trying to get this going. We are going to try and get this out there. There you go. Will saw the link. So here we go. Good times. Look, it's the end of 2019. Me and Will just thought it'd be cool to have you all on, maybe to have a chat. If anything about 2019 you want to talk about, anything you liked about MMA, anything you didn't like about MMA, jump in. Mr. Blake in the house. Man, with a wicked promotion up in Scotland on Top Promotions. If you're in the UK, folks, do jump onto Facebook, give On Top Promotions a subscribe. He does a lot of great work up there, over the wall up in Scotland. It's another country, some people might say. This seems like they speak another language up there. But hey, James, hey, in the comment section, you got any cards coming up next year? Give him a shout out now. Feel free to come on. And it is all part of the process, bro. Yeah, this is Teething Problems 101. I'm waiting for Will to reply. I'm hoping he jumps in on this chat. I'm hoping I can add him, or I might ask him to Google it for me and tell me, can I add someone on live chat on YouTube? But yeah, any things about UFC, Bellator? They just had the card, didn't they? Fedor sparking out an uber fat Rampage Jackson, like he trained at KFC or Burger King for that one. Dang, he looked awful, but he's getting paid. Do MMA awards, Rob? We could do. It's all depending on what awards you'd like us to go over, because you got knockout of the year. That's very is standard knockouts, female fighter. I think Amanda Nunes walks away with that one. I don't think there's really much contesting there. Who else have we got? We've got also, let's think about male fighter of the year. You could 29th of Feb, folks, on top. Boom. There you go. 29th of Feb. So if anyone is a competitor in MMA, go give On Top Promotions a like if you want to compete, or if you want tickets, get in there. So I'm just going to quickly look on here how to add Will to YouTube to live stream. How to add to YouTube live stream. Here we go. Look, this is what we do. I am learning as I go. But yeah, folks, it's just an open chat. There's no set rules in this. If you want to join in and have a question, or if you've got anything you want to talk about in MMA, that's what this is about. Because we know Christmas time, it's quiet, especially with the UFC not happening until January 18th. It's a little bit of a quiet period for everyone. And I know we probably all get to chill out and eat mince pies, cakes. I hope you all got what you asked for at Christmas. I'm still waiting for big. Oh, here we go. Nah, nothing, mate. Okay, all right, okay. Join in the link. Here we go. Join in the link, here we go, and join the convo. Here we go. While I try to fix this. There we go. So here we go. Fingering babies. Well, that's a lovely image. This isn't Gary Glitter, I'm afraid, mate. So, yeah. I have to say we're not keen on that one, are we? Yeah, that's very cute though. Yeah, we'll get rid of you. We don't like them bellends, do we? Yeah, this is just an open chat. Look, UFC has had a bumpy year. I think we kind of have I think from a perspective, I've competed in MMA. I've seen MMA shows. James himself knows about the MMA shows and how tight it is for money. When you've got when you've got Dana White, who is claiming they've made nearly $1 billion, and there's not really much going back to the fighters. People need to remember, if you look at boxing, when Anthony Joshua was making 60 million or whatever it was, or an obscene amount of money, you got to remember that his promoter was the one running the show, looking after the fighter, and he's got his interests at hand. Dana White isn't the promoter for the fighters; he's the promoter for the company UFC. They're just vessels fighters, so that's why, unless they team up and they can kind of have like the NFL have a union, the players union, where they negotiate the terms of the payments and the spread of the monies, you're not going to see any change. And when there's $1 billion of profit potential income coming in and it's not going back to the fighters, it's disgusting if I'm honest with you. It makes me debate about wanting to get back in the cage myself, and I'm making a fraction of what they make after taxes. But we can talk about anything like that. We've also got, like I said, Fedor doing his farewell tour, which I'm sure will be a lot of fun. If you've got any questions, anything at all, Rob, if you've got any subjects for the MMA Awards that you want to ping over and suggest, it could be anything. It could be anything, like worst smack talk. And if it's not T Ortiz was awful, wasn't it? Henry Cejudo, which, Captain Cringe. There was some things going out there, so feel free to join in on that side of things. I just kind of feel like whenever I watch the UFC, I love watching the shows. I love watching the fights, but I just hate seeing those paychecks. Bellator as well, to an extent, on the lesser known fighters. But I just wish as a whole, the sport, if it's so big, there's definitely could be a little bit more distribution. But one FC is an interesting concept, with apparently how many people they're getting into the show. Oh, Will, sorry guys, for some reason I cannot join yet. John in chat trying to rectify the problem. I am. But Will, Rob, as you can see, if you can, in the chat above, did say do MMA awards. Now, Will, I'm not sure on the categories. I am more than happy for someone to suggest categories, throw them in below. I'm going to try. Here we go. 5 tips live. Here we go. Introducing live stream. Yeah, YouTube. Like I said, me and Will used to do it together. We used to have, we've done it before where it did the live stream, but now it's changed. The live chat setup has altered. I used to send him like a Google Hangouts chat. It was very different, and it's very frustrating. Will, as well, bro, I'm seeing how you're there. Can you just ping over anything you're looking to talk about as well? It'd be fantastic to hear your thing. How do I live stream? No. How do I enable? No. Come on. Where do I add him? Create a live stream. Yeah, that's lovely. If we could do it in the classic studio that YouTube used to have, we'd add Will like that. But the new one doesn't seem to let you do it. Okay, so how do I add another person? Here we go. Add another person. Maybe that might work. Another live guest to your live stream. This isn't a live stream though, is it? Or was it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it'll be classed as a live stream. Here we go. We'll try that one. All right, so yeah, what else have we got in the world of MMA? You've got Amanda Nunes going over to Bellator, which was an interesting, not surprising move. More money for her. Sorry, troops need a dash. Here we go. Keep up the good work, and I'll watch the repeat. Yeah, as will. If his follows the MMA scene, I would get Ross Houston down there, my friend. Your connection is unstable. I don't think so. I think you're lying there, my friend. I think it's just fine. Yeah, I think, bro, get on. Yeah, you should. Yeah, Will, get yourself down to the On Top show. James Lake there said 29 Feb. Get yourself down there. I think Ross Houston will probably come down, bro. I think you've dropped in a message, James. You get yourself a little Cage Warriors chant down there. Stevie Ray, he'll be about. I'm sure you can get some of them guys down there too. Some great guys there. Yeah, so let's have a look here. How do I? Yeah. Well, this is lovely. It's not telling me how to exactly add you, because it's just been an absolute knob jockey. Let's put it that way. Yeah, so feel free to drop the questions. Feel free to just have a conversation. That's literally what this is. It's a live chat about anything in MMA. Kat Zingano as well, going to Bellator. A lot of the female fighters. I think the treatment the UFC had of Liz Carmouche was pretty awful, pretty dire, and they're lucky that it's Christmas and no cards are on, because they can just brush over. And then by the time that it comes to 18th of January with the Conor card, the media are just going to be all in on Conor for that clickbait. That's all they're going to be on. So they'll look past all that. They won't ask Dana that question. No one's going to look at anything like that either with Dana. So we're kind of lucky with that one, really. So it's just, yeah. So I'm not looking forward to that. But here we go. How do I live stream an interview? Yeah, I would love to do that. How do I watch live streams? No. Hangouts, on air, live, YouTube. Yeah, I'm trying to do that, but you're not letting me, YouTube, you little son of a bitch. If there is anyone who's tech savvy and knows how to add another person to this, that would be proper Bo. Because at the moment, I'm having Bob and luck and Bob hope and no hope. So yeah, I've enjoyed the 2019 year. There's been some cracking little talents coming out, especially if you watch Cage Warriors. That Webb Frederick fight was insane. The middleweight division. You got a new champion there, the 185 weight class. You've also got a ton of guys at Cage Warriors that are coming through. Jack as well won the 135 weight class. Who was that, like kind of night tournament? Night tourney. But this is also something we're thinking about doing, me and Will, as a regular thing, like a live stream, live chat. If you're interested, we'll maybe try to do something once a week or every 2 weeks, and just to bring people on board, just for a bit of a chin wag. Here we go. So we're going to go live. Yeah. See, that did not give me that hangout. Yeah. See, that's the thing it didn't give me. It's very much changed, folks. The new layout for the live chat. So Skype and OBS. Oh yeah, that's live stream stuff. Yeah, I'm out on that one. I am out of the OBS stuff. Okay, so. Right, and let's go to how do I get Will in? Participants. I don't want participants. I just want Big Will. I want Big Willie in. That's what I want. I want Big Willie sausage in this chat. How do I get Big Willie in here? Here we go. Will, if you're listening, my brother, as I know you are, if you even just try and Google on how to get these folks into this live chat, that would be super. Get you in on board on this, brother, because I haven't got a Scooby. YouTube Studio is balls. It is big, hairy balls. The new live. See, honestly, folks, if you look at a previous one, we've done it before where we had issues with the recording, so we were able to do it on Google Hangouts. But for some reason, it's only having myself on. So, Will, you are forced now to be joining in on a conversation down below on the chat. Again, MMA, any questions MMA related, throw them at us. We want to hear your questions. We want to hear your thoughts on MMA. We just want people to join in on that sense, really. And also, as well, aside from the MMA, NFL's about to finish on the final week. I think it is week 17, is it? It's the last week. Well, it's bad year for the Chargers again. Absolutely shocking year. Absolutely shocking. They drive me insane. They need to get rid of Rivers, get a new young blood like a Lamar Jackson for the Ravens, and hopefully Chargers can get up there again. But killing me. They're killing me, they are. And let's go to what else have we had? Michael Chandler had a lovely knockout. MVP, standard win. I didn't think he had much before him, to be honest with you. He didn't have much of a problem with who he was competing against, and I was not impressed one little bit. Let's go into here. Let's go to this YouTube stream here. Upload now. We want to go to YouTube Studios and see what that says. Rampage, take a dive. I don't. Will, I tell you what, I watched it back and I was a bit humming and hawing. But if you look back, bro, there's someone on Twitter posted a video of the fight from the crowd, and you could hear the punch. And it was, do you know when? Remember, if Will, this won't apply to anyone else, but when we were in Belfast, we weren't on the ground level. We were just on a tiered seating, so we were just higher up, so you kind of could look down on the ring. So that was kind of the position that the recording was on, and you could hear that punch land. And it was like a snap, like a whip. It just landed. It must have got him on it looked like it hit him kind of around the side temple area. I don't think he took a dive. I just think he was a 205er who's got uber fat on burgers and hadn't trained. There's no way he trained for that fight. He looked like a mess, didn't he? Let's be honest. he looked like mashed potato. He just looked awful. And Fedor looked not too bad considering that was one of the heaviest Fedor's walked in at. I thought Fedor didn't look too bad. I think he's looking Fedor as well. He's not looking to retire yet. He's got one more fight in America, he said, then one and finish off in Russia, which would, I think that was meant to be happening last time when he was meant to finish in Russia. But hopefully he does this time. He does hang them up because he's clutching at straws, isn't he? Let's be honest. There's only so many people they can find to give him a fight for that makes it look attractive to people to watch that you'll actually want to look at and enjoy. I think that Fedor's a cracking fighter. From Pride days, I loved watching him because he was outsized in a lot of the fights and he did superb in them. Will, I saw your tweet. You weren't overly keen on Fedor Pride. You obviously the Vanderlei kind of the ways where you sided, bro. I'm with you. I thought what I liked about Fedor fights was how he was going to win. That's what I enjoyed about the fight because I thought, is he going to get that win? And he did, and he just did it every time. And he thought, like when he got like pile drived or belly to back suplex by Kevin Randleman, and who was the other one? Was a big nog that I think it looked like he did a tombstone power drive or whatever it was. He's had a ton of fights against guys that they just looked gnarly. They looked gnarly, and I was super impressed with the ways in which he won because there was so many ways in which he could have lost. Anyone who's joined in the chat, I'd love to know what your thoughts are on the kind of MMA media. What your thoughts are on MMA talks and how people are and how people interact and how many people kind of basically feel about the sport. You've got like, for example, you've got your Schmo as well. I don't know what people think about the Schmo guy. He does a ton of work, but is he bringing out breaking news or is it just his quirky way of interviewing that people seem to be down for? I'd love to hear back on people's thoughts on MMA media. Well, yeah, you can't write nonsense on there. Yeah, you're lying little toe rag. You are, Will. We don't need to talk about that guy because he's not very good at his job. Let's be honest. He doesn't have a clue what he's doing, and thankfully, he's been blocked by blocked on all our sites. Really, it's weird that. Yeah, shame about that, Will. But it's just more of an opinion, Will. I was just curious about what you thought about MMA media and what people want from the MMA media. Like, what are they looking for? Are people wanting clickbait stories? Are people wanting the top five questions? Are they wanting, more connection with the fighters? Are they wanting more stuff based in training? It'd be curious to know what people want from MMA interviews, what they from MMA media, what people are looking for. We obviously do our picks. I do interviews on the side. I've actually got some new Gucci equipment, if you can't tell already, with the camera and some cool lighting. So things are going to be picking up with the standard on that side of things. So proper chuffed about this. So hopefully I can get more stuff going. But yeah, on an MMA media side, it's curious because I watch. You watch, for example, your kind of big boys like your MMA Junkie, MMAfighting.com. I know ESPN are taking a load of their staff to do work, like Ariel Helwan is shipped over there, etc. But it's just, I like the Schmo, but can't see. Yeah, the persona sticking around for a long period. Yeah, it does look like a flash. It does because I don't find his interviews intrusive. I just find them generic interviews, and that's my only thing about him. I think I won't. If I missed his interview, I wouldn't miss anything on his. I wouldn't miss anything from the fighter. I think that the way he interviews is no different than some other people. It's just the way he has that kind of look and that voice, and that's about it. But then you got Brendan Shrub, who is again. He's rough. He is rough. I know he competed, but it doesn't mean that he knows what he's talking about. He was a rough one, Will. Brendan Shrub, like those, he does that truck stop stuff, and then he does the podcast with Brian Callen, and then he just is out of his depth. It's rough viewing, and I don't enjoy it. Will, what's your thoughts on ONE FC as a promotion? They talked the big show. They talked about how they've had an exuberant amount of listeners. They talked about these numbers, 40 million, some it's insane numbers. It's really difficult because we can't actually get the evidence of that. Unlike where it's in the UFC with the pay-per-view buys, you can find out information, etc., or the viewers from the channel itself, like the channel providers. But with the kind of Asian networks and stuff, it's not as easy to. I don't know, Will, what your thoughts are with the kind of numbers they're talking about. And again, folks, feel free to put anything you want in the questions, anything at all. We are here to answer your questions, really. We are here to answer anything you wish. Here we go. So add in someone to live stream. Wonder if YouTube can help. How do I add someone to a live stream? Ooh, here we go. So I think it's been a great year for other promotion outside the UFC. Yeah, I think so, Will, as well. I think one FC's done, they've done well their promotions on the social media side of things. Cage Warriors, we've seen them grown. My only kind of bugbearer with Cage Warriors now is I know Gray manages a lot of the guys, especially helps the ones get. He kind of takes the management side of things when he sees the potential for championships. But when they get to that level, they kind of tend to go off to the UFC. I just wish they could stay a little bit longer, one or two of the fights before they go there to develop. Bellator, now that kind of Bellator Europe scene. Hopefully Bellator will get a card in Scotland. Will, I'm sure you're looking forward to hopefully having a card up in Scotland yourself. I think that Bellator are kind of long overdue for that. Bama have had a belt in year. Yeah, they have had a belt, yeah. Will, obviously, what did you think of Fame MMA? Now, for folks who do not know what Fame MMA is, there is a really you got Jersey Shore in America, and then the UK did a really lower level one called Geordie Shore. And there's them folks and some other people. I don't know. I've got more brain cells than to watch that kind of crap. But they jumped on to this show and did some training, and it was pretty horrendous. I have to admit, I didn't thankfully watch any of the fights. I just saw some press conference. They were trying to be kind of like the Conor McGregor and Diaz with throwing the cans. I'm sure the level was, Fame MMA is shocking. If it happens again, I'll be devastated because it's just a slight on the sport, and we don't need it. We want good press for the sport is the best way to put it. We want to try and get as much good press as we can because the sport is still young, it's still growing, it's still developing, and that kind of stuff does not help it when you get those subhuman scum fame grabbing losers who have got no talent. They have got zilch. Yeah, absolutely jack talent. So do not worry about that. Here we go. Hi, Bobby. You can still use Hangouts on air. Oh gosh, that option is not going away. We'll be going away at some point, but YouTube has not announced when exactly. So for now, we can't do that, sadly. No, we can't use that. No, that is a shame. So someone did ask the question, but they haven't asked that question recently on adding someone. So, this is getting even better. Adding hosts to your YouTube or webcam. Oh, wow, this is wonderful. How to get ready to live stream. All right, watch out. So it's not really telling you how to add someone. It shows that YouTube has not figured that out yet. Unbloody, ruddy, believable. So, Will, what's your thoughts? I'm curious. Here we go. Oh, gosh. Scott F, here we go. Schmo and Yee are good, yeah. I have to give them credit for the number of in-person interviews they get. Yeah, it's typical. Typically short from there. So, Yee, she does a lot of work. She's been around for quite a while. Big Black Bear Warrior. Mr. Happy, I am glad that you are. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Scott, as well. But Scott, what is it you're looking for? Just curiosity. We want to know what people are looking for in the sport, and even like from the fight game, and just what any positives or negatives. Just a general chat, like I said to you folks. Next time we try this, let's get StreamYard, which seems to be decent. Never heard of it, Will. We will investigate it, and we'll do a StreamYard. All right, okay, so StreamYard, whatever it is, bro, we will look we'll look to do it because it seems that the streaming nowadays, they've taken off the Google Hangouts. I don't know how many people remember that, but it was super handy. Let's see, here we go. That opinion is available YouTube live stream, which very simple. What can you do down to third time? Yeah, StreamYard, here we go. Not free. Light stream or Zoom. All right, thanks again. Okay. Check out live stream, totally free. Free tier, maybe available features. Wow. So they literally tell you to go and have to use another stream. So we do like the would you like to stream from? Right, got it. Yeah, I've heard about OBS as well. So we have to do like a live stream, it seems. So we'll look to we'll have to sit and experiment with that one. What I don't like about fights is the aftermath. Yeah, because once I got into a fight and won, and the next day got jumped. Well, that's not good, Mr. Happy. That's Mr. Sad. Yeah, is that an MMA fight, my friend, or is that actually a scrap in the streets? Because if it's an MMA fight, that's pretty abysmal that people would acting like that after. We want to give props to some people in the MMA world that have done a lot of work this year. Will done his predictions. Half the battle. We love a real fight. Right, yeah. Well, that's going to happen. That's a shit, bro. Getting jumped sucks ass. I've had scraps and it's happened. Yeah. Hopefully, well, it seems you're all right. They haven't broken your fingers, so thumbs up on that one. Bold predictions for 2020. Give some bold predictions. I tell you what, Peter Yan's going to be bantamweight champ. Boom. Throwing it out there, Will. We're doing it, Will. Peter Yan, bantamweight champ. Bold ones. Tony Ferguson submits Khabib. Boom. Let's have a look here. Gosh, another prediction. Let's think. Stipe loses the title in 2020. John Jones doesn't do well at heavyweight. I don't think it suits him too well, heavyweight division. Francis Ngannou leaves the UFC and goes to professional boxing because he talks about it a lot, and I reckon he'll do it. I reckon he'll go off to do some boxing. Ngannou champ, yeah, I think I would say that, but. And I'm with you, Combat TV. I think he can win it. I think he can win the belt, but he's just talks about the boxing. For me, Anthony Pettis fights for a Bellator title, buddy. Oh, Anthony Pettis, bro. You know what I mean? Sergio, son. You reckon Pettis leaves UFC? Woo! Do you reckon Pettis, though, was going to stay at 170 at Bellator and not bother doing 155? Or do you think he does both still in Bellator? Kind of like... Benson Henderson, that was it. Benson Henderson did 155 and 170, didn't he? Let's see. MVP loses in 2020 again, because you'll have to go up the ranks. You'll have to get a harder fight still. Other predictions, let's think. Oh, gosh. I'd definitely be Wilder. Yeah, Ngannou and Wilder, yeah, because, man, honestly, Ngannou is big. Like, he cuts down to 265, so he's got to be 18 stone. He's probably got 60, 70 pounds on Wilder. I know Wilder's got the speed and the length. There's a high level of boxing difference between Ngannou and Wilder, but Ngannou's just got that weird one-hit power. Ngannou would just have to start out like a few guys. Justin Gaethje, UFC lightweight champ. But see, well, I kind of can see why you say Gaethje for the lightweight belt, mate, by the end of the year. I'm kind of with you on that. Oh, Will, I'll tell you what we can do. If you want, Will, I can Skype you. Bro, I'll Skype you on my phone. You'll be in the chat and you'll go on here. How's that sound, bro? Give me a little comment down below if you think that's a good idea. MVP to UFC. Maybe, if the money's right. But the UFC would have to offer a lot of money, but they've seen that he can get starched like Douglas. I know Lima is an absolute monster, and he's a killer in any promotion. So the UFC probably a little bit worried taking MVP on because they'd have to pay big bucks for him. they'd have to pay a lot of money because MVP's actually making good cheddar. He's making good money outside of Bellator with the sponsors, never mind the fight pay. I know MVP had a few goes of the boxing stuff as well, which he gets an allowance. Sorry, he gets allowed to go and compete on those with Bellator. It's part of like the kind of deal that he went into with them. I found that before Bellator went into the UK kind of scene that they had, because I spoke to fighters who were signed to Bellator. What they had was agreements where they could fight in their region, i.e. the UK, or if you're like Europe based, if you're Europe or Asia or Africa based and you're signed to Bellator, because they only did like really they didn't do that many UK cards, they allowed you to fight outside the promotion with another promotion, a lesser one, like a regional one, to keep active. Caught double-edged sword. Last thing you want to do is go and fight in a regional show, get absolutely murked, and then have to do this. So, Will, if you drop me a message, bro, if you're happy with me to Skype with you, I will happily Skype you, brother. I will download Skype on my phone, and we can get you on there that way. So, look, here we go. I want to do Skype here. Boosh. There we are. I'm going to install it now, just in case, Will, you do say yes. Gaethje champ, I can see, bro, where you're coming from. I think Gaethje would have a great time against Khabib. The more I've watched Gaethje over time, I think that the striking that Gaethje has surpasses Khabib by far in all facets. The wrestling, super interested, because Gaethje's got a legit wrestling game that we haven't seen. We have not had the pleasure of watching him grapple enough, and I would love to see him grapple. I'd love to see what he can do. I'd love to see what Gaethje can get on this sport. So I'm going to jump into Skype now. Do you know what, folks? I want to see Rakic against Walker. Walker's got a fight, hasn't he? Who's Johnny Walker fighting? He got a fight announced. Butter my arse. Who has he got a fight with again? Johnny Walker has got a fight announced, and it's going to bug me now. And I was actually surprised it wasn't on the UFC London card. It's somewhere around that time. It's like a week before or a week after or something. It could be Serkinov he's fighting or something like that. But I am super curious to see who it... Krylov. Boom, Will. That's it. Krylov. I knew he had a bloody fight against someone. I knew it. That's a good fight, man. Krylov's a nasty man. Yeah, it is a good one. Whatever you say about the Uzdemir decision, Rakitic, it might be a good thing for Rakitic to lose that fight. It's a good thing because they can get sped up and they can get pushed a bit too quick. You see that too often. I think even Dominic Reyes potentially a bit too quick going up to the title fight as well. I know it's a shallow division. I don't think knocking out Chris Weidman is a big deal in 2019 to get a title shot. I really don't. I think quite a lot of guys would knock out Chris Weidman in that 205 division. Even Jacare's going back down at 185 because even he didn't like it. There's a big difference because I know those guys cut like 20 pounds, 30 pounds to get down to 205 from say 215, but the guys at 205 are cutting down from 230 onwards. Just Bleed, who follow on Twitter, folks. Just Bleed MMA. He's actually got really good, fun tweets. Like your stuff, bro. What up, man? Yeah, I just found your channel. Thank you very much, bro. We are here. We go. Keep up the good work. Check out my channel. I break down every card, UFC card. Yeah, he does, and he also puts out good posts on Twitter. I enjoy watching your stuff, man. Thanks very much for checking out our channel. Again, what we love about the MMA side of things, me and Will, is that yes, you do get one or two bell ends. It's just what you get in life, okay? So there's nothing you can do about it. But there is a great community, there's a great spirit, and everyone's working together just to share input. And it's not a debate. It's not like a team sports where like football or soccer, as you call it, or NFL or whatever, where you'll have a dispute against the other team. You go, oh, I'm blue, you're red, or I'm white and you're yellows. We're against just. It's just an opinion game, you know. People have opinions on fights. Most fights are 50-50 because any punch can end at any time at anyone. So the great thing about this community is we just want to try and build something with everyone and try and build a chat. I'm just trying to add Will now, so I'll be 2 seconds. Here we go. Let's go to what the heck is my bloody Skype account? Unreal this is. Trying to remember all this stuff. So yeah, we're just having a general chat, my man. We're talking anything you want, anything at all. We're talking UFC, Bellator, even IMMAF. And for anyone who doesn't know what that is the amateur side of things where they've really nailed that down. Because when I was an amateur, it was a ball ache. Because when I was an amateur, you had so many different rule sets for different promotions. So you would have to train for that fight with certain rules taken away, and then when you go to a different one, you have to train with new rules that were added. So like stuff like toe holds, leg locks, kind of certain locks weren't allowed, and it was just a pain because you would train them. I was training heel hooks for years, but you weren't ever using them in bouts. But then when you get in positions to hold them, you just couldn't do it or anything, so you had to switch it. Bit of a pain in the ass, if I'm honest with you folks, but that's a great thing. That's on UFC Fight Pass, I believe. They've got lots of stuff, live things going on there. Let me try and log into here, and now I've got to try and remember my password. Do I have my password? Am I in? And here we go. I might be able. Well, here we go. Yes, he is. Kid in the amateurs. He is a obscenely good talent. I think has he only got one loss in amateur? Will, I think is he a one loss guy, or is he undefeated? I can't remember. It's either one loss or undefeated. It's something like that. The kid is obscenely good. And you can watch his stuff as well on the like the IMMAF World Championships that you have. Here we go. Let me go to here. No, I want to get out of that. So. Well, if you're happy, I will give you a call and we can... What is going on with this bloody thing? And I will give you a call. And what we'll do is we'll Skype you, brother. And then that way, we've got you in for the chat. So that will be... There we go, get out of that. Where's that login, log out stuff? Honest to God, this is a nightmare. There it is. Settings, no, bookmarks. So, yeah, well, I'll not be... I believe. Here we go. Yeah, can't wait for another Golden Boy MMA event in 2020. And he's serious about still doing it. Oscar De La Hoya said he tried to dig himself out. You think Rampage took dive? Yeah, mate, we talked about this before. There is a video on there's a video on YouTube. Someone posted it from the crowd. Mate, you can hear that punch from far away, and it clips. Like you hear it, like a whip hit him, and I think the shot, looking at the replay, hit this side near the temple area, and I think for Rampage as well, he just hit a guy who's been a heavyweight or pretty much almost all his career. I know he fought Henderson like Hendo down 205, but Rampage is not a really good heavyweight, and he just looked fat and out of shape. And when you're out of shape as well, you don't recover as well from punches. Conditioning's a huge thing. He just didn't look good. He looked out of it. I don't think anyone was impressed, were they? I think it was pretty horrible. It was a pretty horror show, if I'm asking anyone. But for Japan, it was for them, for a marketing perspective, for the Bellator, it was great. Cheddar, isn't it? It's just money in their back pocket. Yeah, he's not being beat. There you go. I would say yes to De La Hoya staying out of MMA, but if he can bring in the kind of boxing purses, so to speak, it might work out. But then again, if he brings the boxing kind of structure where the card is based on one fight, then it's out the window then, because it goes up. I don't like the boxing structure. I like the MMA structure where you get early prelim cards that are potential fight of the nights, and they're just absolute bangers, and you get great fights on there. But De La Hoya it could be. Here we go. So let's have a look here. I'm just trying to get in here to my YouTube. My Skype, sorry, so I can give Will a call. I've just had to download Skype again on here. MMA Huddle. Why can't I not remember my passwords? This is the thing with having too many of these bloody fucking passwords. Yeah, Microsoft doesn't. Oh, you don't acknowledge that. Oh, how dare you? How dare you? Here we go. So I'll be 2 seconds. Yeah, there's a lot of talent outside of the UFC, folks, you got to look out for. Not just inside like Cage Warriors, but you've also got like your KSW as well. KSW is killing it. That is probably Europe's biggest promotion. They have huge numbers, attendances, numbers watching it, and some of the fights. I know one or two of the fights are Pride style. I won't lie, I like it. I'm going to hopefully attend one as soon as I can, because I'd love to attend a event there because it looks fantastic. Here we go, Will. Hopefully I can give you a call, bro, and we can get this done. There we are. Now I'm logged in, Will. I'm going to give you a call. Austin De La Hoya doing an MMA fight. Yeah, that'll be good. Art Jimison style. Here we go. Calls. Boom. No, I want this. Will, there he is. And let's call. Here we go. We're going to call Will, folks. All right. How do I do speaker? No. Give me speaker. Answer, Will. We want you in. All right, get out the live stream, Will. Get out the live stream. I'm just waiting for Will to delete that page, and then we're good. Are you out, Will? I'm out. He's out. Will is here, folks, via Skype. So sorry about that, Will. Sorry, brother. Sorry, folks, everyone. He is here now. Here we go. MMA Bleeds just said, I wish KSW would pick up some traction here in the USA. Will, what do you think they can do to get traction in the USA?
I think they've got to conquer Europe first. I think they've got to go to more places in Europe. There's many places they can go to outside of Poland and the UK, and go to Sweden if you can. And I think they went to Croatia and all that jazz. They went to Ireland as well, didn't they? So I think if they just build on the market in Europe, I think maybe in the future head to America or maybe an Asian country, Australia, something like that. I think that's what's needed. It's unbelievable promotion out here in Europe. They do things properly for the fans and the fighters to give you a spectacle, and that's what you really want.
I would like to. Oh, here we go. You got your money. Just bleed bank. Oh, nice work, mate. Making money. Anyone who made money this year on bets, super happy for everyone. It's obviously bet responsibly, but we are made up when people, like a message saying Chips did well, as you see. Like, people make money, and it's great because we just give our opinions on fights, and they may even listen to what we say, and me and Will might even pick the same person and why we think they'll win, but they might see something and think, oh, thanks for letting me know that I still think then that other person's going to win. They might bet against us, whatever reason, but it's great to see people winning. Will, you had an up year as well, didn't you, bro? Because anything up is a good year.
Yeah, it wasn't the year I wanted to. Well, my main goal at the start of 2019 was just to profit, because I realised how hard it is the year before, even though I had a really big year 2018. The kind of longer I think you're in betting on fights and doing it week in, week out, I think it's really hard to kind of maintain. So the people that have been doing it for 3, 4, 5+ years of having a steady profit, fair play to them, because like I say, not easy week in, week out, and that's what I'm looking into going into 2020, is just really kind of trying to maintain what I've been doing for the last 2 years, and just getting better at picking spots. It's not easy. Like, I'm every year that I'm profiting, I'm putting on a little bit more money. So it gets a little bit, the pressure kind of builds a little bit. But if you've made that money from the previous years, you've got to be careful. Just don't be silly. Like you said, if we can talk about one fight and completely agree on the fighter there, but don't listen to our fights as being gospel, because I'm wrong all the time. We're all wrong. Predictions at the end of the day. And it's not the easiest things to kind of see and what's going to happen. And the fight in the MMA itself is just really, it's a hard sport to predict, because you don't know what's going to happen. Some sports you'll get absolutely spot on. Other ones you'll look like an absolute dipshit for picking that guy. And that happens to me every time. I've been on YouTube long enough making predictions where I'm like, oh, that's a really bad pick. But then you might pull something out your arse next time over. So it's a hard thing betting on MMA and maintaining it. So the people that do it over a long, long time, much respect to them. And I mean, Chips is a guy in DraftKings who has made a lot of money through DraftKings, and for the fact that we can possibly help him out make some of that money, that's a big thing. That's something I've always liked doing, is helping other people that won some decent sized money or whatever it may be. It's always one of the nice things that comes with doing stuff like this.
It is, bro. I agree. Moist Audio, thanks for joining us, bro. KSW Void Fest is a bit of a roid fest. We won't lie. There's some guys who unnaturally are large, but it's kind of old school pride. And I think when you match up two guys that are both roided up, I won't lie, I couldn't care less. Do you know? I really couldn't, because it's almost like a level playing field then. For example, I know that some guys that go there who are for that promotion, trust me, they don't do roids. They don't. But who's going to sit here and tell us that Pride was it was shit? Pride was awesome. Will, how great? I know we all knew they were on roids, but Will, did you enjoy Pride?
I did. Like I said, I kind of tweeted about that yesterday. I've never really
been
a Fedor fan, but there was the way I look at it is like, so you've got your KSW, you've got your Puccinautis, and you've got your Poppy, who bring the local. I mean, Polish fight fans love MMA. That's why they're getting 50,000 people at the stadium sometimes. But then you have to look underneath it, the talent that they bring through. So there's going to be guys coming from there in the next couple of years. Saladin Parnasse is a guy, I think he's a top 5 UFC bantamweight with inside the next 24 months, depending when he comes to UFC. You've got Roberto Soldic there as well. You've got guys there who some people might know if you're a kind of hardcore that kind of watches other promotions. You know there's fighters coming through there who are very dangerous and will win big fights in the UFC. I think Soldic will. I think that Parnasse, like I said, I think at least he's going to be a top 10 bantamweight, and like that bantamweight division is up there in my opinion, the top 2 divisions in the whole entire sport with lightweight. So, but you've got different flavours, so you have to bring in the people. Puccinauski's an absolute legend.
Yeah,
he's huge. Like the people in America probably don't recognise that.
No.
In Europe, this guy is a name. Like he brings people in from all over Europe, and then obviously those guys will get onto your Soldic, your Parnasse, Errol Yoon, whoever it may be. I mean, Phil DeFries, Scott Askham.
Yeah.
Since he's went to W, he's really transformed his career, and he's looking an absolute killer, beating top guys. And he probably deserves if he wants to come back to the UFC. Whether he comes back, who knows? Because he's probably making himself some decent money in KSW.
I would stay there. I'd stay at KSW. The way they promote you, the money side of things. I had a certain gentleman who fought for the UFC and went to KSW. I'm not going to name names on an individual, but he's fought for both promotions. And he said the money in the UFC compared to KSW was like close. He said I was making basically nearly 3 times as much fighting on a KSW card than I did the UFC, because you get not just the kind of fee for paying, but you've also got your sponsorships and all that stuff. He said it worked out better. He said I would not go back to the UFC given the option, even if it was put on a plate for him. He said I'd stick with KSW and stick on other shows. He said I just made more money there and I enjoyed it. He said the promotion was great. They looked after me. He said there was nothing wrong with him. He couldn't fault it.
Yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me because, like I said, I've never been to KSW, but it's something I want to tick off the list because just watching it, it's like a spectacle. Hopefully, maybe that's something I'll tick off in 2020. Who knows? Yeah,
I'd be down for that. Let's go to Poland. Let's do it. Let's rock it out in Poland together. Well, the question before from Rob was MMA awards. I know we didn't do an MMA awards thing. I know because quite a lot of people do them shows-wise, so I felt that we weren't going to do it. But, Will, is there any kind of things that stood out for you for 2020? 2020, I'll phrase that, 2019, kind of if you were to have a mock award ceremony now?
I haven't really. I don't usually do like an awards type thing, but it's something that I've not even looked at. The one thing that I've really liked about 2019 is the re-emergence of the flyweight division. I think that moving into 2020, John Sheehan, who's over at Severe MMA, he did his bold predictions for 2020, and he says Demetrius Johnson to re-sign with the UFC. That would be decent. I would love if Demetrius Johnson ever came back to the UFC. I still think he is one of the best talents out there. And the re-emergence of Cejudo beating Dillashaw, then it kind of being kind of quiet, but every flyweight fight to me is just pure entertainment. You don't get many bad flyweight fights. And towards the latter end of the year, this year, the flyweights have been on fire. They've been really good fights. And then we've obviously got Figueiredo, is going to fight Benavidez, and that's just a great fight in itself. So that's one of the things looking into 2020. I'm looking forward to is hopefully the re-emergence of a healthy, vibrant flyweight division, because it is one of my favourite divisions. I always love the speed, the technique, just the overall spectacle of the division. I really like the division. I think it's one of the better divisions they have. So, apart from that, fight of the year, who have you got for fight of the year? I think it has to be Masvidal, right?
People say that. I know. I've heard people say Masvidal's up there. I kind of was like Peter Yan and myself, because I thought Peter Yan looked unstoppable all year. He did fantastic work against opposition who really should have tested him should have really been pushing him to his limits, and he just went through everyone like a hot knife through butter as well. I think he went under the radar. I think a lot of the things, I know that the kind of performance that you had from Masvidal was probably up there. You see the stoppage of Till and stuff like that, but I think Masvidal had a great year as well. But I just kind of felt like everyone was going that way. I kind of thought no one's really looking elsewhere, and I thought Peter Yan had a pretty great year. He kind of set himself up for he probably won't get a title fight against Henry Cejudo, to be fair. Sterling's.
When you look at Peter Yan, so like, I love Peter Yan. I've been going on about this guy for ages, but when you do look at who he's beat, I mean, he's beaten Uriah Faber, who's coming back after retiring. Now, if this was him beating Moraes or Aljamain Sterling, like I don't really rate Faber as a top 5 guy. So he's still, in my opinion, he's still to make that jump into the top 5. But I still think that he can beat pretty much anybody in that division. I think he gives anybody a big fight at 135. That division is just unbelievable, by the way. I look at that division and think, and there's talent outside the UFC that's ready to come in there and like just make that division even more stronger than what it is. So I'm interested to see where the division goes, because I think Dominic Cruz is going to be making a return, and he, for a lot of guys, is a hard stylistic matchup, but you have to think that the injuries are going to take effect on him. And just the overall probably maturation of the sport and moving in a different direction, and maybe Cruz's style is maybe just too old now. And like when I think about, there was people speaking the other day about, I think actually they were saying that Sanhagen might be the return fight for Dominic Cruz, and I'm like, dude, I don't think that's a good fight to come back to. I think that's a bad fight if I'm Dominic Cruz. But again, this guy's a former champion, and you're fighting someone like Sanhagen. So, but that's the kind of guys he's going to have to come back and fight, because he's not going to get easy layup fights, because the way the division's progressed, and he's not going to come in and get, let's say,
there's no one easy in the top 10. There's no one easy in that bantamweight division. It's top 10 for Dominic Cruz, and this is the longest time he's been out apparently now since his career began. This is again his longest stint out again. He's just out so much. But for me, I'm thinking, why are you coming back? Like, why bother? If I was Dominic Cruz, I would think to myself, I'm on a TV gig. There's no need to come back. Just a quick one, Will. Just please pop him back there. He said if Peter Yan didn't get knockdowns in the end of the first and second rounds against Rivera, I think he would have lost. Yeah, kind of with you now. And Moise Audio saying Watambi displayed awesome judo yesterday. Yeah, Moise, that was pretty impressive. Yeah, one of the issues with judo, with MMA, is you can only kind of use it in the first round. And it kind of gets, because sweat is a horrible one, because judo's all about the grip work with the lapel in judo. You grip the lapel, you use your hips, you get under the hips, you toss them, etc. Or you got an Oto-Gari and the Oichi-Gari and stuff like that. You got a certain takedowns. They work very well primarily firstly is with grip, so the friction of the skin is always great with the judo. One of the issues you get with the later rounds is the slipping. Like, you look even at the wrestling with guys, when guys are wrestling and they've got the grip work and they try to take people down, they slip and stuff like that. So it's really terrible. It's really difficult sometimes with judo to transition to MMA to the latter rounds. I've always been cautious of that. I know Ronda Rousey did well, but if you look at Ronda Rousey, the girls she fought, they all had tops on, which added to the friction for her, and that gave her a bit more, rather than blokes who are chest to chest or back to chest where they're sweating their skin. At least there was a bit of friction with the tops that kind of would have helped her a little bit more. But yeah, judo is useful. I think that there's it's very effective in the first round, and then that's when it starts to taper off. But man, I haven't seen all the fights from the Bellator card. Will, I don't know if you had time to watch them, because trying to watch Bellator cards I've got more chance of catching a unicorn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I've got it recorded, and I'll probably on New Year's Day, or maybe if I get a couple of hours, I'll watch it back. But kind of really all I've been looking forward to is just the kind of new run of events coming in 2020. I've been watching, like, one of the new things I'm doing on my YouTube channel is looking to the future. It's looking at upcoming fighters I think that will go to UFC, Bellator. My first episode's going to be out next week on Saladin Parnasse, but Bellator, sometimes it really, I was really intrigued by Alima Leigh McFarlane. There's certain people that bring me in a little bit more. Fedor and Rampage are not those type of guys. MVP, I've never really been a huge. I like the different way he fights, but I've never been a big MVP guy. Like, there's people over here in the UK that really big him up, and I'm like, I don't think he'd be a top 15 guy in the UFC. I think there's people that would kill him over there. So, and that card didn't really jump out to me. The one fight that I did want to see was Sidney Outlaw and Michael Chandler, and we've seen how that finished. I've seen the highlight of this morning. I'd like to see Michael Chandler. If I could get one fighter over to, in fact, that's a lie. I've got 3 fighters that I would like to bring to the UFC from Bellator, and that would be Michael Chandler, Douglas Lima, and Emmanuel Sanchez. Are the 3 guys I would love to have to come over at the UFC.
What about AJ McKee? AJ McKee?
In my personal preference, those 3 are the 3 guys I would have. AJ McKee, I'm not going to say he's still got stuff to prove.
No, but he's developing still.
He's a really, really good fighter, but he's not faced. That's hard to say. He has faced tough guys, but he's still very, very young in his career. But what you see, the kid, he's explosive, getting better every time. Got his dad behind him, which I think, thrown off all that knowledge onto him. I think that's someone that Bellator. If I'm Bellator, in America, I build the promotion around guys like AJ McKee. In Europe, maybe your James Gallagher. Even though I'm not a big kind of humongous fan of James's, but if you're going into these different territories, then I mean, they had Kyoji Horiguchi, they had those crossover fights. So if you go to Japan, you bring in Horiguchi. America, you build off AJ McKee. Eastern Europe, you've got Boritz. And then you've got, over here in the UK and Ireland, you've obviously got your MVPs.
Yeah.
And you've got Saul Rogers and James Gallagher. They'll sell out Fabian Edwards. I don't know why I'm forgetting about that guy. That guy's a destroyer as well. So I kind of like what Bellator does, but sometimes the cards are trapping more than others. And that one last night didn't really kind of trap me in. No. I was up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I thought it started at 3. I was like, did I stay up and watch? I was like, no, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. So, yeah. But that's, like I say, that I always like, I'm one of these people that always likes looking at other companies and bringing fighters in. And Bellator was one of those ones. And I mean, there's Cage Warriors. We're going to have people coming into the UFC next year. And Cage Warriors, I love Cage Warriors. I mean, we love Cage Warriors. It's just, the promotion itself is just run by good people. The matchmaker is, I think, one of the best matchmakers that
hands down in the world. Yeah,
I've always said for the longest time that
Ian Dean is the best, folks. If you don't know who he is,
they should bring Ian in to be the matchmaker for all the European events. Maybe
even have him as an advisor
as well. So Ian's the man, though.
He is. I think I'd have even him as an advisor, maybe. Even just as a quick. Can you suggest, we're looking to come over to Europe, can you suggest anyone? I think, for Ross Houston, it's a bit of a sticky situation because it seems he's having a bit of falling out with Graham and Cage Warriors because he wasn't allowed to compete in Polaris. Polaris is the grappling competition, but Paddy Pimblett did. And because I think Paddy or someone got injured badly, I think it's one of the two, someone like that got injured with a bad injury, and it meant they couldn't compete in Cage Warriors. And that's why they stopped him doing it. I don't know if that's going to be the case now, where Cage Warriors won't allow anyone to go on to Polaris. Do you know much about that yourself, bro? Have you heard that yourself about the issue that Ross having?
No, I don't really know much on that side of things. I don't know. I don't really. I kind of keep myself pretty neutral around UFC because I mean, I watch other promotions, but it's just like if you're doing YouTube predictions, you're going to the people want to know more about your UFC one. So it doesn't give me much time to look into, especially the UFC kind of going every week. They'll have like little breaks, and then it'll be 9 weeks straight. So it's hard to really get stuff out there for other promotions and stuff, and looking into other things. So I try and keep my eye on what's the bigger picture, and that's kind of UFC and so on, because I'm looking at, obviously I've got this to do, I've got my channel, I've got the betting side that I like to keep on top of, and there's kind of a whole host of other things. If I'm doing new things, it's taking less time, and then obviously we've both got families, we've both got kids. I would love to do more, I really would, but it's just...
it's difficult, bro, it is. There's only 24 hours in a day, it's rough. But Will, a quick opinion then, obviously, Dana White talking about Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor obviously fighting Donald Cerrone at 170, not bothering the weight cut. Then he said there's, basically saying that they're open there for a title shot against Khabib after that and all this. So, mate, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's bullshit. That's stupid. I realise the UFC are a business.
Yeah.
But why would you? I know why they want to make that fight, but it's like, you've got people waiting in the wings there that have really worked their backsides off to get in positions. Your Gaethjes and your Ferguson. Now, hopefully, fingers crossed, that this Khabib-Ferguson fight takes place, because this has been absolutely years in the making.
Yeah.
And McGregor coming in here, maybe beating Cerrone pretty violently in the first round, the second round, and then him skipping ahead of those guys. Now, the one thing that I like is Khabib and Ferguson is made. It's like it's contracts are signed as we know that fight's going down. So, but then if Khabib wins, then McGregor jumps Gaethje. I'm just like, no, I don't like. And I'm a McGregor fan. Like, I don't think anybody's really much for his antics outside the cage, but inside the cage, that kind of golden run that he had, and this is something I said I did my early insight to 246 last night. It's the mystique of Conor McGregor gone, because maybe the stuff that he's done outside the cage has really kind of hurt his brand. It could be wrong. It could maybe made his brand bigger or whatever it may be. But it's good matchmaking from the UFC, putting him with Cowboy, because Cowboy, he doesn't... I'm not saying he's a broke fighter, but he's getting stopped more.
He's more suitable.
He is getting stopped by top guys. I will say that. But when he shows up like the Ai Quinta fight and the Hernandez fight, he'll beat guys from number 15 to number 5 in the division, but can he beat guys in that top 5, say like a Poirier, McGregor, Ferguson, Khabib, Gaethje? He can't. He just can't do it.
And he's always had that difficulty with Southpaw, bro, as well, so it's always a little kind of Achilles heel. But I'll give you another one here. Moist Audio popping in there, bro. He said Chandler versus Khabib. Chandler escapes single legs like a piston. Man, that is true. Chandler's wrestling is absolutely high level quality wrestler, and he's got good pop in his hands, as we've seen. Man, that would be fireworks if that fight happened too. But yeah, carry on, bro. The Conor thing, if you wish.
Like I say, Moise pops up on my channel all the time, and he knows about fights really well too. So, like I say, if I'm saying Pettis is going to Bellator, try and do a deal, maybe saying Chandler, or maybe get a couple of fighters from the UFC and try and get Chandler over or whatever, and let's see how he does. But when I look at the McGregor fight, people are writing Cerrone off far too quick, in my opinion, but I can see why they are, because to me, this matchup's kind of made for Conor. With his kind of persistent striking, his body striking when he decides to use it, his kicks, which we've not really seen that much in the UFC. He's kind of fell in love with his hand striking and so on. But like when he turns up, and if he is in his element, like in his pump, like the Alvarez fight, he beats a lot of fighters, I think. Especially if they're stand-up strikers, which Cowboy predominantly is. I know he's got skills on the ground, but if these two start trading, I think McGregor's just got too much pop for him. And I think that Cerrone's, even when Cerrone, like 2 or 3 years ago, when they were going back and forward, I still think that McGregor could hurt him then. I feel he could hurt him even more now.
Do you think Conor, though, won a lot of his fights before the fight with the psychological warfare? Do you think a handful of those fights were basically I'm not saying handed to him, folks. I'm just saying he had a more favoured side of it because of the psychological warfare that was thrown at him with Conor's words.
Oh, he definitely got in some people's heads. There's no doubt about it. You look at, I watch UFC 178. I think it was the countdown of Embedded, whatever, and he was against Poirier, and like Poirier is a savage.
Yeah,
like Poirier is a legend in my opinion. He's one of my favourite fighters. But you could see McGregor was in his head. I think they were standing across from each other in like a breakfast room or whatever it is, and they were staring at each other, and you could just see like Poirier now. I think Poirier wouldn't, like, I don't think that would affect him one bit. I think Poirier would beat McGregor in a rematch personally. If they two were to fight again,
I think they should. I think that's the fight they make myself, though.
It's a great fight to put it back together.
155.
You've got Poirier, who's looked nothing but like super dangerous at 155. He's only lost to the top guy in the division.
True.
And anybody else that he's had, even Holloway moving up, he's beat them, and he's been brutal in some of his beatings as well. He's made guys quit like Pettis and so on. Got Gaethje out of there. Spanked Eddie Alvarez around for a couple of fights. I mean, he definitely beat people before, like Aldo. He got in Aldo's head so much as well. Yeah. But what you have to remember with McGregor, he might talk all that shit and do all that. The guy can fight, and he's got dangerous weapons. And like all these people that say he came in and he's left the sport. It's like the guy came in. Like I don't think people realise sometimes how hard MMA is to get in, get out, make your money. Especially when the money's not overly great. He's come in here and he's got his money and got himself out. Now his choices outside the cage are despicable. Some of the stuff that he's did. It's not been on and I went to Cage Warrior fights in Ireland before he went to the UFC, and I know what kind of person McGregor is by being around him before then, and him being in the UFC, and he was still the same guy, but obviously the money has changed him a little bit.
Money and coke.
I think that would happen to a majority of people, but some of his choices are like terrible. Like we probably even haven't heard the half of what's actually went on with his life with some of the things. So, but I try and focus more on the fighting side of things, because that run in 2015, I think it was, or 2014, all the way through to when he got his second belt was unbelievable. Like it really was. It was an incredible run. The buzz, the hype that he brought. The amount, like I say this every time regarding UFC 189. It felt like I was in Dublin.
Yeah.
And Dublin is one of my favourite cities in the whole entire world. I love Ireland as a country, but I was in the MGM Grand, Las Vegas, and if you've been in the MGM, like the casino area and just MGM in general, it is huge, and it was just Ireland flags everywhere, green soccer tops. Every guy you were looking to your left, you could hear an Irish twang. To your right, an Irish twang. It was crazy, and it is one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life, being there and being surrounded by my Celtic brothers, as we say. Scotland and Ireland got on pretty well, so that was incredible. And the people that he brought me, I mean, the UFC must have been raking it in right up at that point, and that
insane.
Was the time when Aldo pulled out. Mendes came in, and I mean, the amount of people he was bringing over for fights was incredible. But that was 45 years ago. I don't know. I still don't think he beats Khabib.
Yeah.
I think Ferguson, it's 50-50. I think Gaethje, I don't think he wants anything to do with Gaethje, because Gaethje's just a savage. But I do think he could beat Gaethje by landing that shot, but Gaethje, I think, can also land that shot on him. So
those leg kicks. It's those leg kicks, bro. Those leg kicks from Gaethje as well. That would really wreck Conor. You know, Conor's style is based on that wide stance, that kind of in and out movement. You take that away from Conor, he really will have a bit of difficulty then, because you'd have to rely on head movement with his feet planted. Then you could wrestle him. It's a lot of factors there.
What McGregor gets as well is that he gets a lot of like the guy takes the hardest fights he can take, and not only in his chosen sport, he'll go to boxing. If he sees the opportunity, he'll go face the best boxer of this generation. I still think he would fight someone like Gaethje. I just don't think it would end too well for him. No. Like I said, I think he could knock him out, but I think that Gaethje could absolutely wear him down. Leg kicks, wrestling, you name it. But yeah, I'm interested to see the return of Conor. I'm interested to see how well this pay-per-view sells, because I want to see if there's still some stock behind his name and whether people have abandoned him or he's maybe going to take it again in 2020 where the sport's going to go up another notch with him being around the sport a little bit more than he has done. So yeah.
Give us a thoughts, folks, listening, on who you would have Conor fight. Let's say, hypothetically, he goes in and beats Conor McGregor. Who would you like to see him match up against in the 155 division? I'm sure he'll be going back down there. Feel free to mention who you'd like to see Conor fight, or if it just makes sense to give him a title fight. If you think that, join in, feel free. Obviously, we're discussing here, but we want to hear what you guys think too. Well, like I said, I love the idea of the rematch with Dustin Poirier. But then again, it's all about the dollar bills. I do Gaethje versus Tony. The winner of that possibly faces Gaethje, and then the winner of the Dustin and Conor fight could potentially then fight for the belt after. But again, that 155 division is disgustingly deep as well, and absolutely horrible division to fight in too. There's a handful of divisions there where you just look at it, and any one of them guys can win that belt. I think Khabib is a smart one, though. I don't think Khabib's going to be around much longer.
No.
I think he's smart and will do maybe one or two more fights, and he might even finish on a Conor. He might even be happy to go, I'll do one more Conor and that's me done. It's I don't know what you're thinking with that, but I don't think Khabib's going to need to be around that long. I think if I'm Khabib, to take one or two fights, if that GSP catchweight 165 fight doesn't materialize, then just get out of town. Just go, why stick around? Because he seems to have a really good head on his shoulders.
Yeah, it's interesting with Khabib because I don't think money rules him. So he's more about his legacy, his record, and keeping that intact. So, like I say, if I'm Khabib Nurmagomedov, I'm like, I beat Conor McGregor once. I don't need him again. I don't need all the drama. Because it's too taxing with stuff like that. But like, I'm interested to see what Khabib's going to be like in the next year, because he's either going to really solidify himself as one of the best lightweights of all time, if not already. Or we'll see him, because every fighter has their downfalls and loses eventually. You very rarely get guys like John Jones who is undefeated. I don't care what anybody says, the guy's undefeated. So, and for the longevity of that guy, he's been doing it for, it's like he's taken out all the old school guys, he's taken out all these new school guys, and you can see with that division as well. Like, they're not fit to even be in the same cage as John Jones, in my opinion. Like these new Rakic. I think Rakic was a little bit unlucky in that fight. I did think Ozdemir won, but it's interesting with Khabib because, I mean, if he beats Ferguson, that guy's resume is serious. Like, he's got a serious resume. Poirier, Ferguson, McGregor. It's crazy. So I'm interested to see what Khabib does in 2020. We just need to get this Ferguson fight done, though. Yeah, it needs to be done.
It needs to happen.
If that fight never happens, fight fans are really lost out in that one big time.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be kind of like the way boxing is, where they don't get these great fights that should have happened, and it would just be an absolute travesty if we don't get it. Obviously, they will have people watching Tony Ferguson around every studio, taping down every wire. They will make sure that Tony Ferguson is wrapped in cotton wool, so to speak. But I'm sure Tony Ferguson's obscure training will still happen. Well, on the subject of obviously UFC divisions and stuff like that, Stylebender. Looking obviously superb this year. He was obviously another contender for Fighter of the Year, so to speak. He's had a phenomenal year himself, and Bobby Knuckles is going up against Jared Cannonier. So that kind of throws that in the air of who's going to fight Stylebender next, bro, because Till dropped him a message in Instagram, and man, I think it'd be crazy to give Till a title fight. In my opinion, I don't think beating Kelvin Gastelum is enough in a decision, but would you be surprised if they did anything crazy like that?
I think, like, if I'm matchmaker, I try and make Paulo Costa against Adesanya. That's the fight. I know, like, if Romero wasn't coming off a couple of losses, it's a fight you make instantly. Romero's just a guy. I love watching Romero fight, but I'm also a big fan of what I see of Paulo Costa. So, I mean, Adesanya's had an unbelievable rise. If you told me when he first went to the UFC inside a couple of years, he would have the belt round his waist and the people that he's beaten, I would have laughed at you. Honestly,
I would have.
I actually thought Tavares was going to give him problems, and that's when I realised, right, this guy is a legit top 15, top 10 guy who's making big progressions. Coming from a great gym, by the way. That gym, we're talking about coach of the year, we're talking about gym of the year. I think you give it to City Kickboxing in New Zealand with Eugene Behrman and the guys coming out of there. They've had an unbelievable year, racked up loads of wins in the UFC, and got themselves a couple of belts. So that's unbelievable. But Adesanya, he's up there player of the year. There's no doubt about it. I just think Masvidal, the amount of time he's been around the sport, the jaw-dropping moments he's kind of gave us throughout the year with the Till knockout,
Askren knockout,
obviously Askren, that which is it's unbelievable. And then the Diaz fight, which he bossed, he absolutely beat the absolute piss out of Nate Diaz.
And I couldn't see Diaz pull that back either, even after that. You know, even if that cut, let's do a hypothetical, let's say the cut wasn't as bad. I don't think Diaz was going to pull that back, though. I didn't see where Diaz was going to pull out the hat to suddenly out punch Masvidal, because I still thought Masvidal still had more striking in him to even pull out, even to draw the rounds, even if it was slowing down a little bit. I just didn't see where Diaz was going to get that win. But so you think Costa obviously tore that bicep. I'm not sure how much longer Costa's out for. Do you think maybe you shelve, so to speak, Stylebender for a little bit more? Just let Stylebender recover, because he's always so active. Maybe give Stylebender a little break in that regard so he can train for a bit, maybe do a bit of PR work, and then get a timescale for Costa and then look to book that fight?
Well, it's all on Adesanya, because he's been a guy who's been
non-stop.
Very active. Yeah. If he wants to take a break for a little bit and maybe get some more contenders that are going to be fit to come into that, then they can do that. That's the fight I want to see. I want to see Costa against Adesanya, but I think Adesanya's probably going to fight before then.
Yeah.
Whether it be Romero or I don't know, a rematch with Whitaker or Cannonier, but whatever happens, I want to see Adesanya fight, because he's been an unbelievable. His rise in the UFC has been. I've seen. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
from what I hear from people that have met him as well, he is like a top class guy to be around, and kind of lifts spirits others being around him. So much respect to Adesanya. Like, I'm a big fan of his. Yeah, I wasn't on the kind of bandwagon to start off with, but I've kind of went on to it as the fight after fight has kind of happened in the UFC. So
yeah, he has come on leaps and bounds. It's been obscene to watch it. Heavyweight division, Will, man, it was a testy one. Heavyweight division, one punch finishes everyone. Rosenstruck has been surprise of the year. He's another one under the radar fighter of the year. Because people don't think about him that much, but you look at what he's done. He's just came in. Was it 4 wins this year? He just came in and starched people. I know we got that finish again. I thought it was I don't know how you feel about that Overeem finish. Still, even I've looked back at it again. I would have been like, he wasn't out. He was getting back up. I don't know if I would have stopped the Overeem, but it happened. I know the lip was gnarly. But Rosenstruck's done phenomenal. He's got a fight against Francis Ngannou. Oh, my word, Will. That's going to be... Well, we said that with him and Derek Lewis, and we shot ourselves in the foot. But in theory, that fight should be absolute fireworks.
Yeah, no, fair play to Rosenstruck, because I do think he's limited in a lot of areas, but he's got a death touch in his hand, and if he hits you half decently clean, he can put you out. Like I said, I think Overeem was, as a guy who bet Overeem, who was probably his way of making a little bit of money in that fight, it was a tough one to take. But it is what it is. That's the heavyweight division. It takes one little ping on the side of the ear, and that could be you kind of knocked out. The heavyweight division as a whole obviously had that big fight, the big rematch between Cormier and Miocic. It's like probably going to have a third fight with those guys. But it has some new blood coming through, which is decent. You've obviously got your Cyril Gans, who they're probably going to start pushing him big in 2020. And I mean, they've got some other guys coming in that are not too bad, but it's an old man's division pretty much. And I'm interested to see the rematch with Cormier, because Cormier, I think, deserves the fight to see how that one kind of finishes. And then if John Jones ever decides he wants to go to one up to heavyweight, then I'm always interested in seeing a John Jones fight. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested, but I don't think it actually probably work out too well for Jones in the heavyweight division. I just don't think it will. I don't see John Jones as a one-punch KO guy. Like, he doesn't have that deft punch. John Jones, he has some great strikes, but it's more of a collective these days. It seems he just picks guys apart. A gradual, he just breaks fighters. But I don't know if it'll end too well. You know, like, you give him some certain guys in that division, it'd be interesting. I don't, like you say, it is an old division. You know, you've got a lot of guys in there who are pushing the upper echelon of the plus 35, and they just stick around that top 10, and they just don't move. And young bloods, there's not too many. I think we wouldn't be surprised this year if we see Usman's brother maybe transferred to the UFC. Titan FC kind of look after him in that way. They're going to give him some good fights to get some wins, and I think you might see Usman's brother get signed up in time. I think the guy who's fighting Greg Hardy next to Castro beat Usman's brother in another promotion. It was someone like that. I'm probably mistaking the fighter there, but he's a beast. Usman's brother makes Usman look like a flyweight. Absolutely massive. I wouldn't be shocked if they signed up Usman's brother onto the UFC. To be honest with you, in the heavyweight division, I think he'd be an okay heavyweight in that way. I think it'd add something to the roster, and it'd help pack it out. But it'd be interesting to see what matchups they make next in that heavyweight division for a lot of the fighters as well, to see where they're trying to find that next superstar in that division.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to sign Mohammed Usman. I think it's going to happen very, very soon. Actually, I think we'll see him pretty early in 2020. But yeah, I mean, it's just I think when we're talking about John Jones and stuff, he's just so good in every facet that he can beat guys at their own game, and he's just a hard guy to try and find spots where to beat him. Really. Yeah. But maybe he will start to fall off as well. People are saying after the Thiago Alves fight that it's he's starting to crack now. These new guys coming through are going to beat him, and those new guys ain't got shit for John Jones. They really don't, unless they catch someone can knock him out, which can happen in an MMA fight. I just don't see him losing to anybody in that 205 division in the next couple of years, depending who comes through. Whether he ever has that Adesanya fight, I don't think that'll probably ever happen. No, I don't.
I'd be surprised if that happened as well. I'm not. I wasn't even uber interested in that fight when he talked about it, because I thought he's just won the belt. I'd like to see him actually cement himself as a middleweight, and by the time that's happened, John Jones would probably be moving up to heavyweight, like he's always said. So I thought there's going to be a transition there between the two of them, and I'm not even that interested. I'd like you to just stay at that weight class, Adesanya, and just clean it out, so to speak. Try and become a new Anderson Silva, and just go out there and just take everyone out, and then go off on your high horse, rather than do what Anderson Silva's doing. And it's painful watching Anderson Silva now. It really is tough. It's like watching Vitor Belfort in his last few. It's just, I don't get hyped for Anderson Silva. I don't look forward to him competing. I'm just sad for him. I just feel sad for Anderson Silva now.
That's just what happens, I think, with the sport. Once it starts moving on and these old guys kind of get left behind. In a couple of years' time, maybe 3-4 years' time, we might be talking about John Jones being in the same boat as Anderson Silva. So it's just, like I say, it's just knowing when to get out in the sport, really. Yeah. Because the sport, obviously, that's been the main way of making money. Then it's hard to leave it when that's really predominantly all you've done. So, but Silva will still always attract fans, bring guys in. But yeah, I've never been honestly the biggest Anderson Silva fan either. So yeah, I was more a fan of Belfort actually than was of Anderson Silva.
Yeah, Vitor was just so aggressive. I think that's what made him attractive. Kind of like Vanderlei Silva, they were just super attractive in the aggression coming forward, and they just brought the fight to you. You had to bring the fight to Anderson Silva, and he was just a marksman with his striking and counter striking, footwork and moving out of the way. He was very good with that, and I think that's that was one of the advantages he had. Anderson Silva, his speed and agility and awareness were there, but when he's now, it's like, man, I think the UFC are keeping him because they don't want to let him go, because then he'll go to like Bellator and Rizin and get fights still, and they'll give him a more suitable bouts that will help him keep fighting. He'll keep making money, and so he can keep going. But the UFC don't want that. They don't want to share the wealth. They want to just keep him with them and let him just grind, either fight his contract out or just retire with the contract signed to them still. If he comes back, he has to go to them. So yeah, I think that's possibly why he's stuck at the UFC, because if he went to Rizin or Bellator or whatever, they would give him probably fights he'd probably win, if I'm honest with you. They'd probably give him more winnable, doable fights. And he'd be huge at Rizin in Asia. He'd be huge on that promotion. You still there? Yeah. What do you think, Will, on that side of things? Do you think you would just like to see him retire, or do you think that would be something that's viable for him?
Thing is, if the UFC let him go, he's going to, obviously they're going to attract him, Bellator or whatever, but they're going to throw like huge sums of money. That's why I don't think we've seen the last of BJ Penn. I think we're going to probably see him in 2020 in Bellator or somewhere around the world. So who knows? But yeah, I think it's just hard to tell guys that, or to watch guys really elongate themselves in the sport, and it's just it's hard to see when they start taking more damage and all that. But and then when they are 60, 70 years old, they're going to be talking about stories about how they are MMA fighters, and that's all they've really ever been. So it's hard, but it's just a sport, pretty much. If they can't make the money in the UFC, they're going to go elsewhere to try and make that money.
I like to see BJ Penn. I like people like to offer him jiu-jitsu matches. I like to see him on, Eddie Bravo Invitational and stuff like that, because he is a whiz on the ground, and I'd love to see him just do Brazilian jiu-jitsu competitions to earn, some cheddar, because I think he'd make money from it. Even now, I think he'd be fantastic at them. I think it's something he could definitely do to be a viable option. They talked about that Veterans League for a long time. I don't know how they apply the Veterans League in MMA. I don't know what the criteria would be. I don't know how it would work. I don't know what the attraction. I don't know how much of attraction it would be for money. But it was something that crossed my mind. I thought that wouldn't be a bad thing, just to get rid of them, so to speak. But then again, you sit to yourself and go, well, some guys can still do it at a later age. And like Daniel Cormier, I think he's just hit 40, hadn't he? I think wasn't that why he was going to retire? He was going to retire on his 40th.
I think that was right. Yeah, I think that's one of the things there. He never wanted to fight past his 40th birthday or something like that. So, but like I said, Cormier's still wanting to fight, even though he's been saying these things for years, because the money's obviously there. And he's got other gigs, obviously, with the UFC, where he does great jobs commentating and stuff like that, but he just can't walk away. The sport's in his blood. So, it must be a hard thing to walk away from. Yeah,
it is. It's one of those things, it's just an itch you can't scratch. I've been injured and I've not competed for a few years, but man, my body probably says no, but my mind goes, we'll be okay. And it's just one of them things, just go, I just like doing it, even though you think when you're 50, like say, Will, 60, that's when you start to realize that you probably shouldn't have done it a bit too long. And that was one of the things that kind of grinded me and kind of bugged me about that, when they let guys stay like Henry Barão. They finally bothered to cut that guy, and after letting him just get murked time and time again, it was just atrocious. The guy looked awful. It looked all the time. He never looked. Once or twice he had moments where he looked okay, but he was never the same after his soul was captured and put in a bottle by TJ Dillashaw. After that, there was no more in him, and it was just horrible to watch. I see, that was the part of sport I felt bad, because I was like, you know what? They're just making the money out your name now. They're not looking after you. They're looking after their own interest, the UFC.
Yeah. Like I said, the UFC are going to look out for themselves. It's just the way the UFC are, and hopefully they kind of do right by the certain fighters that they have. But I'm just looking forward to the new year of fights. I really am. I think 2020 is going to be a big year, especially if Conor comes in, wins fights. Because I think they were saying 2019 was quite a big year for them, which is interesting because they've not got any super marquee names. But Masvidal's kind of moved himself into that territory. Adesanya's kind of moved himself into that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Jones does, what McGregor does, what Khabib does, because they are your main money makers probably. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it was the ESPN deal that kind of bumped everything up for them. Anything else? I think it was less of the brand fighters, but it was more the kind of outside of the cage where the marketing side of things that kind of bumped them up with the ESPN deal and stuff like that must have brought probably a higher turnover for them, and that's what got them that high interest in the account, the high monies. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up. We've been here for an hour and a half, so thank you so much for joining us. Everyone who's commented below, feel free to give a like and subscribe if you're new. We're going to fix this for next time, so me and Will should be on the same screen. We'll have to do some tests in the background because we're not smart enough right now knowing how to do it. We're not going to deny it. We're not geeks on that side of things, on the tech side of things, but we're going to give it a go for next time. So me and Will be facing you. Also, will be joining in like that. Thank you all for joining this time. And yeah, new year, and we'll be back. Gosh, we're back 12 something like that. We're back week before UFC kicks off. Yeah, so we're back around then for the breakdown, and we're still going to enjoy one more week of no tape study. I'm going to enjoy myself. Maybe not a week. I'll probably have like 3 or 4 more days of no tape study, then get back to it. It's been nice, but thank you all for joining in, and we'll speak to you soon, folks.